All right, so we're back and ready for another deep dive. Today we're looking at a Premier League matchup that, on paper, might seem pretty straightforward. Leicester City, not doing so hot, going up against Fulham, who've been looking pretty good. But like always, I think there's more to this matchup than meets the eye. And we've got a bunch of recent results, some team news, a ton of insights that might suggest that this one's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Oh, absolutely.
And to help us really dissect this one, we've got our football expert here with us today. So let's just jump right into it. Leicester City. Man, it's been a rough go for them lately, huh?
It has been, yeah.
6 straight losses in the Premier League. And that's got to be just weighing on the team, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. 6 straight losses. I mean, that's got to be tough on their morale. And the fact that they haven't even scored a goal in 4 of those 6 matches, that's a huge problem. You know, when a team's in a slump like that, it can really start to mess with their confidence, the decisions they make on the pitch. It's like this giant weight is on their shoulders, and they can't play with that same kind of freedom and creativity that they need to succeed.
Yeah, you can just imagine the pressure building with each game that they don't get a win. And they've got a new manager, right? Ruud van Nistelrooy. So this must be, like, extra tough on him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's a proven winner, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Van Nistelrooy, he's achieved success both as a player and a manager. I mean, he knows what it takes to win.
Right.
So when he comes out and says something like, this is a low point for the team, it's pretty clear that this situation is really serious. You know, it's going to be really fascinating to watch and see how he tries to turn things around, what strategies he implements to get Leicester back on track.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Leicester City, really struggling to find their footing. But then on the flip side, we have Fulham, and they've been doing pretty well lately, haven't they?
They have, yeah. They were on this unbeaten streak for 9 games across all competitions until just recently they lost to West Ham. And what's interesting about that run is that it wasn't all wins. It was a mix, 3 wins and 6 draws. So it tells us that they're definitely a difficult team to beat, but they might lack that kind of consistency that you need to be a top contender.
Right, right. And speaking of that loss to West Ham, it did seem like a bit of a surprise, right? Because they were on a roll, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a bit unexpected. They were looking really good, especially away from home. Before that defeat, they'd put together a 5-game unbeaten streak on the road, which was their best run since the 2020-21 season. So that shows that they're comfortable, playing in different environments, different stadiums, and that's a good quality to have.
Yeah, for sure. And then you look at their track record against Leicester. Fulham's won their last 3 matches against them.
Right.
So, you look at that and you think, okay, well, maybe Fulham has the edge here.
Yeah, but we have to remember, past performance doesn't always dictate what's going to happen in the future. Anything can happen in football.
Yeah.
Leicester, they're going to be hungry for a win, especially on their home turf. And, Fulham's only lost once in their last 5 Premier League visits to Leicester Stadium. So it's not like it's a guaranteed win for them.
Right. Right. Like you said, desperation can make a team really unpredictable. So, it's not just a simple case of, oh, Fulham's won the last few matches, so they're definitely going to win again.
Exactly. It's going to be really interesting to see how the managers approach this game tactically. Is Leicester going to go all out, try to score early, risk leaving themselves open at the back? Or will they play a little more cautiously, trying to, catch Fulham off guard on a counterattack? It's going to be a really intriguing tactical battle.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're talking about these tactical battles, the managers. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some players that could be key in this match. So for Leicester, we've got Buonanotte. What's the scoop on this guy? I mean, he's a loanee from Brighton, right?
Yeah, he is. He's a really exciting young talent, really versatile attacking midfielder. And he's got this knack for creating chances, setting up his teammates for goals. I mean, remember, he scored a goal and then had an assist in the FA Cup against QPR.
Oh, yeah.
So he's shown that he can definitely deliver in big moments. His recent Premier League form hasn't been quite as explosive, but I think his creativity could be vital for Leicester if they want to break down Fulham's defense.
Yeah, he could be the key to unlocking that attack. And then for Fulham, Alex Iwobi, that guy's been on fire, 2 goals against West Ham. So he's definitely one to watch.
Absolutely. He's in top form right now. And what makes Iwobi so dangerous is his movement. He's always finding these pockets of space between the lines, making these really intelligent runs. It's going to be a real test for Leicester's midfield to try and contain him, especially since, he actually scored the winning goal the last time these 2 teams met this season.
Oh, wow. So he's got a history of being a thorn in Leicester's side.
He does.
All right. So we've got these contrasting narratives, right? Leicester desperate to end this losing streak, and then Fulham, coming in with this recent form and their historical dominance. But, here's a stat that I think adds a whole other layer of complexity to this matchup. In 10 of Fulham's last 11 matches, both teams have scored.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a lot of goals happening. What does that tell us?
Well, it shows that they've got some serious attacking power. They can put the ball in the back of the net. But it also suggests that maybe their defense isn't as rock solid as it might seem, based on their recent results. So Leicester, they might see this as a chance to finally break their scoring drought, but they also have to be really careful about Fulham's ability to counterattack.
Right. So putting it all together for our listener, we've got a Leicester team that's hungry for a win. We've got a Fulham team trying to bounce back from that recent setback. It's going to be a good one.
It is. It's going to be a much closer match than it might appear at first glance. Both teams have their strengths, both have their weaknesses. I think the tactical battle between the managers is going to be really decisive.
Right, and that's what makes it so exciting, right? You've got Leicester with the home advantage, the potential for them to turn things around, and then you've got Fulham, their recent form, their history against Leicester. It's a real toss-up.
Yeah.
So, taking everything we've talked about into consideration, what do you think? Who do you think is going to come out on top? I think this is definitely a match you don't want to miss.
I agree. Should be a good one.
All right. We'll be back soon with another deep dive, but until then, enjoy the match.